Bulacan, bakas sa mga mukha ng dumalo sa nasabing okasyon.
Millennial Online TV News Update.
Okay mga katropa, at ang grupo po ng Pamarisan Rizal Press Corps ay galing po kay Mayor Kate Nieto. Itutungkol pa rin doon sa issue ng mga tarpaulin na di umano inakita niya sa may Imelda Avenue dito sa CAINTA, na kung saan ay nilinaw niya na yun ay naalis na, no? At wala naman siyang plano at hindi niya ginawa na magsumbong pa sa Commission on Election dahil doon sa sinasabing hindi dapat na paglalagay ng mga tarpaulin. At bukod dyan mga kaibigan, ay nilinaw rin niya na inaasahan niya na mata na halos tapos na ang kanyang mga proyekto dito sa bayan ng CAINTA sa lalawigan ng Rizal.
Ayun. Sir, sa guidelines ba ng COMELEC, alin-alin pwedeng paglagay ng tarpaulin? Ba, alam mo, mga poster,
Private properties at saka siguro yung common poster areas.
Hindi nyo na, sir, pinatawag yung mga supporters na nagkabit o etc.
That actually, accountability yun ng tao sumatak.
Ngayon, natanggap nyo na ba? Si Rambo Labay ng RMF, DCXL, natanggap nyo na ba yung ano, o nabasa nyo na rin yung reaction ni Mon Ilagan?
Hindi.
Hindi ba?
Pwede may kwento.
Ako po. Meron ayon po kay Mon Ilagan, meron din po nagkalat ng mga tarpaulin ng kandidato nyo. Ngunit bakit po si Mon Ilagan lang ang pinansin nyo?
Hindi ko lang kung nasa niya. Di pwede naman niya tanggalin kung nakita niya.
Ang salitang pinapoy mo dumihan ng mga lansangan ng mukha mo at nakakaumay. Ito daw po, ayon kay Mon Ilagan, ay hindi daw po ito akma sa issue patungkol doon sa tarpaulin.
It's a subjective description of power here. That's my opinion.
Next. Sa DCRJ.
Magandang tanghali.
Umpisa po ngayon ang 5 to 11 vaccination. Kumusta po ang preparation na?
We are prepared for it. Pero yung vaccines kasi are yet to arrive. No? The DOH ang nag-decide kung kailan at kung gaano karaming nadalhin. So I cannot do the registration as of now dahil ayaw ko na magpaasa hanggang wala kami kasiguruhan na yung bakuna ay nasa amin na at papayagan na kami ng bakuna sa mga bata. But we are ready for it.
Amir, saan po tayo dun sa herd immunity? Saan na po tayo doon para ma-ano natin yung
I think I've already achieved it.
active na.
Oo, 70%.
Primate, kita na ba?
Ito po, kumusta naman po yung health care center at daycare center sa China?
You mean health centers?
Yes.
Okay naman, tumatakbo pa naman siya. Yung daycare naman kasi, hindi naman nagagamit kasi wala tayong face-to-face. It undergoes constant and periodic maintenance and repairs. And then we just equip it with as much resources as we can, considering the budget that we have.
Next.
Sa CAINTA po itatayo yung pinakamalaking hyperscale data center sa Pilipinas. Mayor, anong maganda po bang epekto dito sa CAINTA?
Kasi magkakaroon ng maraming opportunity sa mga IT people natin. And syempre, yung support group that will have to compose para mabuo mo yung mismong negosyo will all be coming from CAINTA. In fact, I'm supposed to be meeting with the account manager anytime this week just to formalize yung arrangement natin that the people from CAINTA will be favored in terms of employment, provided that they shall be able to comply with the basic requirements ng tao in terms of skills acquisition at saka professional experience.
Meron na po ba tayong bilang kung hindi po ang vaccine na natin?
Sa mga bata? Sa mga bata? Yeah, I guess it's close to 80,000. Yeah.
What's your plan here?
Kaya naman kasi, hindi naman nagagamit kasi wala tayong face-to-face. It undergoes constant and periodic maintenance and repairs. And then we just equip it with as much resources as we can, considering the budget that we have.
Next. Mayor.
Sa CAINTA po itatayo yung pinakamalaking hyperscale data center sa Pilipinas. Mayor, anong maganda po bang epekto dito sa CAINTA?
Kasi magkakaroon ng maraming opportunity sa mga IT people natin. And syempre, yung support group that will have to compose para mabuo mo yung mismong negosyo will all be coming from CAINTA. In fact, I'm supposed to be meeting with the account manager anytime this week just to formalize yung arrangement natin that the people from CAINTA will be favored in terms of employment, provided that they shall be able to comply with the basic requirements ng tao in terms of skills acquisition at saka professional experience.
Meron na po ba tayong aakmang bilang kung ilan po ang babaksin na natin?
Sa mga bata? Sa mga bata?
Sa mga bata.
Yeah, I guess it's close to 80,000.
80,000?
Yeah.
What's your plan, Mayor, after your term? Your steps down from your run?
I will take a rest for 1 week and then go back and come back maybe as an administrator if my wife wins in the elections. Otherwise, it's gonna be like after that.
February ngayon po, araw na. Buwan ng mga puso, may event po ba tayo? Kasi last 2 years wala tayo. Meron po ba?
Meron. We've actually prepared one that's town-wide. No? It's supposed to be a date for 31 couples who will decide to be part of our program. And then we will have our own speed dating. No? Kami Vice Mayor will be able to meet up with at least 13 ladies who will be interested to just talk about anything under the sun. And then maybe spend time together. It's gonna be a 15-minute thing, lipat-lipat sa table, and then just goodwill lang para sa mga tao.
If ever po si Atty. Eli po yung mahala na susunod na mayor, paano niyo po siya matutulungan niyo?
Matutulungan ako yung magiging administrator. So,
Nabanggit niya rin, Mayor, na yung inyong nga pong asawa na si Ellen Nieto. Ano pong plano niyo sa mga susunod na 3 hanggang 5 taon na parating?
hindi ako kasi magplano ng ganun katagal kasi hindi ko alam kung pwede mamatay ako dun kasi. So, whatever it is that lays open for me, the opportunity is there, then I start rethinking and refocusing my energy. Ang importante lang, everyday ng buhay mo, bumabangon ka para sa isang bagay o sa isang advocacy na naniniwala ka.
May mga backlogs po tayo ngayon ng mga projects na tinatapos natin ngayon.
Well, I'm actually streamlining it just to prioritize whatever it is that is important. No? It is imperative for us now na kailangan lahat ng proyekto natin nakaakbado sa klase ng kalamidad o pandemya na dinadanas natin. It has to be suitable for it. Ang tawag dun sa natin is zeitgeist. It's time at a time.
Pero lahat mo ng proyekto matatapos yung bago tayo bumaba.
Well, hindi ko man matapos kung sino man ang papalit. I just hope tapusin na. Kamukha ng ating Home for the Aged na inakma ko para sa mga abandon ng mga matatanda or mga tao na hindi na kayang alagaan ng kanilang mga magulang pero gusto masiguro na meron silang magandang lugar na itirhan. Nagtayo tayo ng isang Home for the Aged para sa kanila. Paano ang ating Home for the Aged na inakma ko para sa mga abandon ng mga matatanda or mga tao na hindi na kayang alagaan ng kanilang mga magulang pero gusto masiguro na meron silang magandang lugar na itirhan. Nagtayo tayo ng isang Home for the Aged para sa kanila ng lahat ng gastos sila sasagutin ng gobyerno.
When it comes to percent, Mayor, porsyento, ilan na pong porsyento yung mga plano at programa nyo na target nyo na natapos na po?
Siguro 98% na if you're talking about a 9-year timeline.
At yan po ay ipagpatuloy kung sakaling manalo yung partners.
Well, she will have her own advocacies apart from mine because we can coexist. Kung ano man yung kanyang pinaprioritize, like for example, nag-uusap kami bago kami matulog tungkol sa mga programa niya, napansin ko na ang gear niya is towards jobs, employment, and skills acquisition ng mga tao kasi nanggaling sa isang industriya na nag-train sila ng mga tao para maging equipped at maging independent. No? Ako naman, focus sa social service at infrastructure. So if we do this together, I guess we will have a more comprehensive CAINTA.
Dalawang question na.
Meron sa mga babakuna mga bata, yung aalmak na, hindi ko ba sila pipilitin na magpabakuna? Kasi actually may nagpailan ng TROPA para iuntok eh. Dito, halimbawa, kung ayaw ng mga parents, hindi nyo sila pupumbisay na pabakuna yung mga bata.
Tatapusin ko muna yung mga medicine. Saka ko na lang isipin yung ayaw.
Mayor, mensahe na lang po sa publiko.
Mensahe? Baka-base ka.
Chill lang kayo ta.
Before tayo mag-end, Mayor, babati na rin kami sa grupo namin na belated happy birthday na rin po. Ano ba po kayo?
Dapat may cake kayo.
Wala. Hindi na ganda niya.
Okay lang yan. Okay lang yan.
Last,
Oh, sige.
Yes, kuya.
congrats po dun sa na-create nyo na Muslim Affairs Office. Pero sa ngayon,
Tayo po ba yung Muslim?
Hindi po.
Nakausap ka lang ba?
Oo,
Nakakagulat kasi yung CAINTA meron ano.
meron po.
So paano po siya tumatakbo ngayon? Kasi maganda yung concept.
Opo, actually we had to establish an office because there's actually a small population in CAINTA for actually Muslims, no? We have 2 sites, no? One in Brookside and one in Village East, no? Tapos there's also one in Tito Victoria Palace. There's 3. So yung pagbibigay galang lang sa kanilang sa estado ng kanilang mga buhay, ay pagkakaroon ng isang opisina siguro na makikater specifically sa mga requirements nila para maramdaman nila na kung estado ko man ng Muslim, meron kang gobyerno masasandalan.
Ayos.
At sinabi rin ni Atty. Queto kung matatapos ng kanyang termino bilang alkalde at kung sino ang papalit na alkalde o kung halimbawang pala rin ang kanyang bahay, si Atty. Ellen Nieto ay may posibilidad na siya maging administrador ng bayan ng CAINTA.
Millennial Online TV News Update.
Magandang umaga, ngayon ay February 8, 2022 at narito ang update ukol sa magiging lagay ng panahon sa susunod na 24 oras. Bahagya nga pong humina ang northeast monsoon o amihan, ngunit asahan pa rin po natin na magdudulot ito ng maulap na kalangitan na may mga pag-ulan dito po yan sa silangang bahagi ng Luzon. Samantala, sa silangang bahagi naman po ng Mindanao ay asahan din po natin yung maulap na kalangitan na may mga kalat-kalat na pag-ulan, pagkulog at pagkidlat, dulot naman po yan ng easterlies. Sa kasalukuyan po ay wala tayong minomonitor na sama ng panahon na maaaring makaapekto dito sa ating bansa. At para sa magiging lagay ng panahon ngayong araw ng Martes, dahil nga po sa northeast monsoon o amihan na patuloy po na umiiral dito sa bahagi ng Luzon, ay asahan po natin yung maulap na kalangitan na may mga pag-ulan dito po yan sa bahagi ng Cagayan Valley, Aurora at Quezon, at asahan din po natin yung mga tsansa po ng pulupulong mahihinang pag-ulan sa nalalabing bahagi po ng Luzon kasama na dyan ang Metro Manila. Ang agwat po ng temperatura sa Lawag ay maaaring maglaro mula 22 to 30 degrees Celsius, sa Baguio ay 15 to 24 degrees Celsius, sa Tuguegarao ay 22 to 29 degrees Celsius. Dito sa Metro Manila, ang temperatura ay maaaring maglaro mula 24 to 31 degrees Celsius, sa Tagaytay ay 22 to 29 degrees Celsius, sa Legazpi ay 24 to 31 degrees Celsius, sa Puerto Princesa at maging sa Kalayaan Islands, ang temperatura ay maaaring maglaro mula 26 to 31 degrees Celsius. At para naman po sa bahagi ng Visayas at Mindanao, dahil po sa easterlies ay asahan po natin yung maulap na kalangitan na may mga kalat-kalat na pag-ulan, pagkulog at pagkidlat. Dito po yan sa bahagi ng Caraga at Davao Region. Kaya pinapaalalahanan po natin yung mga kababayan po natin dyan na mag-ingat at maging alerto sa mga posible pong pagbaha at pagguho ng lupa, lalong-lalo na po yan sa mga event ng mga katamtaman at hanggang kung minsan ay mga malalakas po na pag-ulan. Samantala, sa buong bahagi naman po ng Visayas, maging sa nalalabing bahagi po ng Mindanao ay asahan po natin na magiging bahagyang maulap hanggang maulap po yung kalangitan at meron din po mga tsansa ng pulo-pulong pag-ulan, pagkulog at pagkidlat. Ang agwat po ng temperatura sa Iloilo at Tacloban ay mula 25 to 31 degrees Celsius, sa Cebu ay mula 24 to 31 degrees Celsius, sa Zamboanga ay mula 24 to 34 degrees Celsius, sa Davao ay 24 to 32 degrees Celsius at sa Cagayan de Oro ay mula 25 to 31 degrees Celsius. At dahil pa rin po sa northeast monsoon o amihan ay meron pa rin po tayong nakataas na gale warning sa seaboards po yan ng northern Luzon, partikular na po yan sa Ilocos Norte, sa Batanes, sa Cagayan, kasama na po dyan ng Babuyan Islands at sa Isabela, maging sa eastern seaboards po ng central at southern Luzon, partikular na po yan sa Aurora, sa eastern coast ng Quezon, kasama na po dyan ng Polillo Islands, sa Camarines Norte, sa northern at eastern coast ng Camarines Sur, sa Catanduanes, sa eastern coast ng Albay, at sa eastern coast ng Sorsogon, maging sa eastern seaboards po ng Visayas at Mindanao, partikular na po yan sa northern at eastern coast ng Northern Samar, sa Eastern Samar, sa Dinagat Islands, maging sa eastern seaboards po ng Surigao del Norte, kasama na po dyan ng Siargao at Bukas Grande Islands, maging sa dagat baybayin din po ng Surigao del Sur, kung saan hindi nga po muna natin pinapayagang pumalaot yung mga kababayan po nating mangingisda, pati na rin yung may mga maliliit na sasakyang pandagat. At para naman po sa 3-day outlook ng mga key cities ng ating bansa, dito po sa Metro Manila bukas, kung saan inaasahan nga po natin na patuloy nga pong hihina yung amihan, ay asahan po natin na dito sa Metro Manila yung bahagyang maulap po hanggang maulap po na kalangitan, at yung mga tsansa po ng pulo-pulong pag-ulan, pagkulog at pagkidlat, lalong-lalo na po yan sa hapon at sa gabi. And by Thursday at Friday naman po, ay asahan po natin na muli pong lalakas ang amihan at magiging maaliwalas po yung panahon na makakaranas po tayo ng bahagyang malamig po na panahon, at meron din pong mga tsansa ng pulo-pulong may hinang pag-ulan o mga pag-ambon. Ang agwat po ng temperatura ay maaaring maglaro mula 23 to 31 degrees Celsius. Sa Baguio City, in the next 3 days ay asahan po natin yung bahagyang maulap hanggang maulap po na kalangitan, at yung mga tsansa din po ng pulo-pulong may hinang pag-ulan na dulot po ng amihan. Ang agwat po ng temperatura, ang temperatura po natin ay maaari po maglaro mula 14 to 24 degrees Celsius. Sa Legazpi City po, bukas ay asahan po natin yung mga tsansa po ng pulo-pulong pag-ulan, pagkulog at pagkidlat. And by Thursday and Friday po ay asahan naman po natin yung mga tsansa po ng mga pag-ambon o mga pulo-pulong may hinang pag-ulan na dulot po ng amihan. Ang agwat po ng temperatura ay maaaring maglaro mula 24 to 32 degrees Celsius. Sa Metro Cebu, in the next 3 days ay asahan po natin na magiging bahagyang maulap hanggang maulap po yung kalangitan. And by Thursday po, kung saan nakita natin yung paglakas po muli ng amihan, ay asahan po natin dyan sa Metro Cebu yung mga tsansa po ng pulo-pulong may hinang pag-ulan. And by Wednesday and Friday po, yung mga tsansa naman po ng pulo-pulong pag-ulan, pagkulog at pagkidlat. Ang agwat po ng temperatura ay maaaring maglaro mula 24 to 32 degrees Celsius. Sa bahagi naman po ng Metro Davao, in the next 2 days ay asahan po natin na patuloy po tayo makaranas ng maulap na kalangitan na may mga kalat-kalat na pag-ulan, pagkulog at pagkidlat. And by Friday po, asahan din po natin na meron pa rin pong mga tsansa ng pulo-pulong pag-ulan, pagkulog at pagkidlat. Muli po, pinapaalalahanan natin yung mga kababayan po natin na mag-ingat po at maging alerto sa mga posible pong pagbaha at pagguho ng lupa. And also mag-antabay din po tayo sa mga updates na ipapalabas po ng ating regional offices, sa mga advisories po or babala ukol nga po sa mga pag-ulan na ito. Ang agwat po ng temperatura ay maaaring maglaro mula 24 to 33 degrees Celsius. Dito sa Metro Manila, ang araw ay sisikat mamayang 6:23 ng umaga at lulubog mamayang 5:58 ng hapon. Patuloy po tayo magantabay sa updates na ipapalabas ng PAGASA, at para po sa mas kumpletong impormasyon, bisitahin ang aming website bagong.pagasa.usd.gov.ph. At yan po ang latest dito sa Weather Forecasting Center ng PAGASA. Grace Castañeda, magandang umaga po.
Millennial Online TV News Update.
Hinandugan ni Vice Governor Willie Alvarado ng 300 food packs at 20,000 pesos ang mga senior citizen na dumalo sa isinagawang General Assembly ng United Sarmiento Northgate Parkwoods Homeowners Association. Ginanap ang nasabing okasyon nitong linggo, Pebrero 6, 2022 sa covered court ng Sarmiento Homes sa Barangay Muson sa bayan ng San Jose del Monte City sa lalawigan ng Bulacan. Bakas sa mga mukha ng dumalo sa nasabing okasyon ang kasiyahan nang kanilang matanggap ang mga food packs na galing kay Vice Governor Willie. Sa talumpati ni Vice Governor Willie, pinaalala niya ang kabayanihan ng mga Bulakenyo at mahalagang partisipasyon ng mga senior citizen sa ating pamayanan.
Ako po ay merong konting regalo para sa inyo. So meron po akong iiwanan sa inyong 300 food packs. Sana po ito po ay galing sa puso po namin ni ni Congresswoman Maribik Alvarado. 4 na pong piraso ng 500. Na irarapol po natin. O bahala na si Fe kung paano pag-ate. Sa lahat po ng ating homeowners, senior citizens, palakpakan nga po natin. Isang pribilehiyo na maging senior citizen. Hindi po lahat inaabot ng 60 anyos. Ang mga senior citizen po ay isang malaking karangalan. Sapagkat tayo ang nagsisilbing ilaw para tanglawan ang landasin ng ating mga anak. Hindi po pwede na mayroong mga kabataan na walang senior citizen kaya naging senior citizen. Sumunod sa utos ng ating Panginoon, nag-alaga rin po tayo ng ating mga magulang. Palakpakan nga po natin. Iba ang maging Bulakenyo. Lalawigan ng mga bayani, ang dahilan ay kung ating pumbubuklatin ang aklat ng kasaysayan ng ating bansa, more than 2/3 of the Philippine history. Dito po isinilang sa lalawigan ng Bulacan. The First Republic of Kakalong, alam po yan ng buong bansang Pilipinas. Kaya ganoon ang taas ng pagtingin at paggalang sa mga Bulakenyo.
Nagpasalamat naman ang pamunuan ng Homeowners Association sa pangunguna ng kanilang presidente na si Ginang Pelo Choco kay Vice Governor Willie Alvarado sa mga ibinigay nitong regalo sa mga senior citizen. Mula dito sa San Jose del Monte City, Jim Pahayag para sa Millennial Online TV, ang katropa mo sa pagbabalita.
Tara nang mamangha sa mga tanawin. Ano man ang iyong travel goals? Dadalhin namin kayo. Sa unwind ventures at saya. Dito lang sa Wow Biyahe. Kaya wow, di ba?
Abangan dito lang sa Millennial Online TV. Barangay, pangunahing unit ng pamahalaan lokal kung saan dito pinag-uusapan ang bawat sinalog ng mga residente ng bawat barangay. Dito rin pinag-uusapan ng mga piling halal na opisyal na barangay ang mga proyekto para sa kanilang barangay. Kumustahin natin ang panunungkulan ni Kapitan dito sa Dalo Barangay sa Millennial Online TV worldwide, ang katropa ng bawat barangay.
Ating tinatapos ang ating pagpupulong. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pagdalo at tapos na po ang ating session. Enjoy na po tayo.
Ikaw ba'y nag-iisa, nalulungkot, dahil iniwan at ipinagpalit, niloko ng iyong minamahal. Kung ngayon, i-type sa inyong mga cellphone, Facebook o YouTube man ang Millennial Online TV. Dahil nasa Millennial Online TV na ang online haralista ng bagong milenyo, si Randel Villados.
Naninigas ang aking katawan kapag umikot ng plaka.
At haharanahin kayo ni Randel ng iba't ibang awitin para maibsan ang inyong inip at kalungkutan kahit nasaan man kayo.
Hanggang sa tumanda. Come on! Kung tayo'y matanda na, sana'y di tayo magbago.
At pwede rin kayong makiduet kay Randel tuwing Sabado ng hapon. Tutok na! Tawag na, mga milenyo!
Araw-araw ikaw ang gusto kong kasama. Buhay ko'y kumpleto na tuwing nandito ka sa tabi ko o aking giliw.
Pinaigting, pinalakas ang bagong news online TV ng bagong milenyo. Millennial Online TV, ang katropa mo sa pagbabalita.
Mga katropa, ako po si Randel Villados, ang online naranista ng bagong milenyo ng Millennial Online TV na nag-aanyaya sa inyo na makikanta, makisaya at tumutok sa lahat ng programa ng Millennial Online TV. I-type lamang sa inyong Facebook at YouTube ang Millennial Online TV. Nood na mga katropa!
Ako inyong lingkod, Rosel Lopez, ang inyong katropa, ang inyong kabarangay, dito sa Millennial Online TV. Abangan ang ating mga kaganapan dito sa ating bansa at abangan din ang panunungkol ni Kapitan sa ating Dalaw Barangay. Paano nyo kami mapapanood? I-type lamang sa inyong mga cellphone, sa inyong Facebook at YouTube, ang Millennial Online TV. Ano pa hinihintay nyo mga katropa? Like, subscribe, at share na. Okay mga katropa?
Mga katropa, ako po si Gazi Sarip, ang inyong tagapaghatid ng balita sa bagong milenyo na nag-aanyaya sa inyo na tunghayan ang aking mga pag-uulat at tumutok sa lahat ng programa dito sa Millennial Online TV. I-type lamang sa inyong Facebook at YouTube ang Millennial Online TV. Nood na mga katropa!
Pinaigting, pinalakas ang bagong news online TV ng bagong milenyo. Millennial Online TV, ang katropa mo sa pagbabalita. Mga millennials, marunong na ba kayong magluto ng mga masasarap at swak sa budget na mga pagkain? Abay, huwag puro lang kayo aksi at ML at puro pagkakalikot lang ng cellphone. Dapat marunong ka rin sa gawain bahay at tulungan ang inyong mga mamsi. Kaya tara na, samahan natin ang kusinera ng bagong milenyo, si Ate J. At tuturuan tayong magluto ng mga masasarap na ulam natin sa ating mga hapagkainan at swak pa sa budget. Ika nga, a delicious food on a proper price. Tara na, mga millennials! Mga milenyo, pagod ka na ba galing sa trabaho? At gutom na sa maghapong pagtatrabaho? Pero wala kang pagkain sa bahay? Narito na ang sagot mga katropa, ang Super Manok Lechon. Napapawi sa inyong gutom at siguradong mapapa-analyze ka dahil sa tender juicy na jumbo pa at siguradong malinis at bagong katay buhat sa farm. Kaya super masalasa at pangmasa pa. Ano pa hinihintay nyo mga katropa? Takbo na sa Super Manok Panteño Similuan at bumili na. Baka maabusan ka, katropa.
Now,
Talakayin. Revisahin. Opinyon. Halawakin. Aksyonan. Kasama si Rosel Lopez, ang inyong katropa. Dito lang sa Millennial Online TV. Ang katropa mo sa pagbabalita. Ayon, magandang hapon. Ako, maggagabi na. Pasensya na kayo mga kaibigan dahil meron tayong inasikaso at at the same time ay meron tayong inayos na video. Kaya medyo nagtagal tayo at yun, naghihintay nga si Joshua, naiinis na hindi ko naman kasalanan ng downloader, no? Kasalanan nung nag-export, ang tagal. Anyway mga kaibigan, magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat. Siyempre po ngayon ay ika-28 na ng buwan ng Enero, taong 2022. At siyempre po sa inyo na ang programang Tropa. Siyempre, kami pa rin ang inyo makakasama. Wala nang iba. Pagtsatsagaan nyo. Sa technical side po si Joshua Waltao at ako po ang inyong lingkod, Rosel Lopez. Ayun, at meron na tayong mga nakamonitor ngayon, yung ating mga katropa peeps, no? Unahin na natin itong si Kuyang Rogelio Dagdag Esteban, buhat pa po. Taga ano pa to? Barangay Bibiklat, dyan po sa Kuya po, Nueva Ecija. At ganyan din ako, yung aking idol, no? Kanina kausap ko to, nandun ako sa kanila. Tapos ka naman maglaba, yung ating kaibigan na kagawad ng Tugatog, si Barangay Kagawad, Sunny Dadad Pineda. Nakatapos ka naman ng labahin mo. At ganyan din yung mga tropa nating LMT, no? Sina Sir Romel Martinez, Haji Crespo, Jojo Revilla, Miss Jackie Lagpao Adahar, Ma'am Linda Villagonza, Sir Jebren Sibug, sina Jojo Reyes, tama ba? At sabi naman ni Miss Jacqueline Lagpao Adahar, abay malasa ang super manok, nasa karne mismo ang lasa, abay nanunod daw po, sabi ni Miss Jackie Adahar. Kasi po nung nakaraan nandito silang mga LMT, yan po kinain namin nila Joshua, yan po pinadala na super manok, lechon. Yun ang sabi, malasa, hindi naman ako nagsabi. Sa bagay, natikman ko, masarap din. At ayun, binabati rin natin yung ating katropa na nasa UAE, no? Si Bambing Edison Makadat Torres. Ayan, nanonood po siya. Siguro wala pang pasok si Madam, no? Nasa UAE. Iba kasi oras dito, tsaka iba oras doon. At syempre, iba natin yung mga katropa pips na nasa ibang bansa. Meron po sa Hong Kong, meron po sa, saan ba to? Doon sa, anong lugar tong, sa Middle East din doon sa Kuwait. Yung ating katropa doon, si ate, pangalan ko, limutan ko na. Anyway, lahat po ng ating mga OFW, abay magandang hapon sa iyo. Ayan, si Ma'am Bing nandun sa UAE, nanonood.
At syempre yung si Ma'am Deb naman ay nasa Hong Kong. Si ano pangalan nito? Si Ate ano, yung dati po siyang nandito sa Pinas. Siya po ang nasa ano siya, nasa Supercut na salon. Nakalimutan ko na yung pangalan nasa dulo ng dila ko doon siya yung manap na swerte. Wala doon sa swerte dito sa cut, dito sa salon dito sa Pinas. Pero siya po ay taga Palawan. Ayun, si Ma'am Berlin Pinto, abay, nag-thumbs up. Abay, mukhang happy si Ma'am Berlin, si Ma'am. Dahil narinig niya na naman ang pangalan ni Joshua Baltao. Okay mga kaibigan, mamaya itutungay natin sa inyo ang lagay ng ating panahon. Buwat po sa pag-asa kaya Benison Estareha. Siya pong weather specialist ng DOST Pag-asa. At syempre po itutungay din natin yung ginawang programa ng DOST, no? Philippines, na kung saan ay nagkaroon sila ng conference na ito may titulong Weaving a Creative, Sustainable and Inclusive Future of Philippines Textile ngayon. Siyempre po yung ating mga tela nung araw, kung malalaman nyo, ang paborito kong tela nung araw is rami. Nawala na yung rami, tsaka yung kulduroy. Yung merong kulduroy na maninipis ang hiwa, meron namang makakapal din ang hiwa. Nawala na ho yan. Siyempre, nagkausuhan na ngayon maong, tsaka mga slacks, at siyempre yung mga telang kukur. Alam mo ba yung telang kukur, Joshua? Tsaka yung kuku. Pag sinabing telang kukur, kukurtinahin yun. Kapag sinabing telang kuku, kukumutin. Yun. Nawala na ho yung mga ganyan tela. Ngayon po ito ay inaano ng DOST na yan ang ating gamitin dito sa ating bansa na yan ay pinagyayaman po, no, ng ating bansa. Dati nga paborito kong tela nung nag-aaral po ako nung high school, yung rami, no, kasi maganda ho yung tela noon. Hindi naman siya maong, pwedeng parang slacks na parang pandesente. Ayun, si Ma'am Evelyn Lee Matsuo na nasa Japan po. Ayan, nanonood sa atin. Sigurado yan na nanonood si Ma'am Evelyn Lee Matsuo sa atin sa big screen. At siguradong kinonek niya yung kanyang cellphone yun sa kanilang 55 inches na TV. O baka mamaya nga 80 inches pa. Di ba, Ma'am Evelyn? At sabi ni Ma'am Bing Edison Macada Torres, abay God bless din po, sister. At ang ating, alam niyo, ang ating mga OFW ay yan bayani ng ating bansa. Siyempre, malaki binabayaran niya sa bus kaya bayani ng ating bansa yan. Okay mga kaibigan, alas 6:03 na po ng hapon ng gabi. Philippine Standard Time, gabi na pala. Kumusta mo ako, Ma'am Evelyn, yan kay Hiro Matsuo sa iyong esposo? Katabi mo ba siyang nanonood o wala pa siya, sa trabaho pa? Sabihin mo sa kanya, arigato, arisaimasu. At siyempre, get well soon din. Hinihintay ko rin kayo makabalik ng Pinas para naman magkakilala tayo ng personal. At kapag nakabalik kayo ng Pinas, Ma'am Evelyn, abay dapat i-guest ko kayo dito sa studio at i-interviewin lang naman kita na ano ang lagay ng ating mga kababayan sa Japan noong pandemic. At gaano kahirap ang dinanas ng ating mga kababayan Pinoy at Pinay dyan sa Japox o sa Japan. Kasi nandyan din ang pinsang ko Hindi ko alam kung makakauwi daw siya ng Mayo. Dahil sabi niya, dito raw siya magdidibu. Ibig sabihin nun, dito siya magsi-senior citizen. Yun po si Ate Chona Sato, no? Si Ate Nel Quijano. Philippine name, Nel Quijano. At ang kanyang Japanese name, Chona Sato. Okay, so mga kaibigan, huwag na natin patagalin. Alamin natin sa DOST Pag-asa. Lagay po ng panahon sa pamamagitan po ng weather specialist po ng Pag-asa na si Benison Estareha. Pakinggan po natin.
Happy Friday po sa ating lahat. Ako si Benison Estareha. Nakalabas na ng Philippine Area of Responsibility ang minomonitor natin na low pressure area as of Thursday 5 p.m. So sa ngayon po meron tayong dalawang weather systems na nakakaapekto. Una na dyan sa may northern Luzon ang shear line o yung linya kung saan nagtatagpo ang northeast monsoon at ang easterlies. Samantala yung easterlies natin is nakakaapekto po from central Luzon down to Mindanao. Ito yung mainit na hangin naman galing sa Pacific Ocean. At ito rin po yung nagdadala ng mga localized thunderstorms in most parts of the country. Hanggang sa weekend, nakikita natin na mananatili pa rin yung shear line, magpapaulan po dito sa northern Luzon, habang ito namang low pressure area together with its cloud cluster ay nakikita nating paakyat or northward ang movement sa direksyon ng shear line. So maaaring magsanib or pumunta itong low pressure area patungo dito sa may shear line at magpaulan pa rin dito sa malaking bahagi po ng northern Luzon hanggang sa malusaw na ito. Hanggang sa matapos naman po ang Enero, wala tayong inaasahan na bagyo na papasok or mabubuo sa loob ng Philippine Area of Responsibility. Ngayong araw, asahan natin ang maulap na kalangitan sa malaking bahagi ng northern Luzon, kabilang na dyan ang Cagayan Valley at mga probinsya ng Apayao and Ilocos Norte. Yung mga pag-ulan natin, mga light to moderate with at times heavy rains kapag may mga thunderstorms, kaya pinag-iingat natin sila sa posibleng mga pagbaha or landslides. Sa natitirang bahagi ng Ilocos Region at natitirang bahagi ng Cordillera, partly cloudy to cloudy skies within 24 hours, may chance na rin ng mga pag-ulan lalo na po sa hapon hanggang sa gabi. Sa Central Luzon, sa Metro Manila, ganyan din po sa Calabarzon, Bicol Region, and Mimaropa. Actually, magiging maaraw naman po dito sa umaga, and then pagsapit ng tanghali, mainit at maalinsangan, lalo na dito sa may pating Central Luzon, and sa may Metro Manila hanggang 33 degrees Celsius po, at dito sa may mainland Palawan hanggang 32 degrees. Sa hapon hanggang sa gabi, may mga tsansa ng mga pag-ulan, lalo na dito sa may pating Mindoro Provinces, Marinduque, Romblon, dito sa may silangang parte po ng Albay and Camarines Provinces as well as Catanduanes, may mga tsansa po ng mga localized thunderstorms. And over here sa may Aurora and Quezon, patuloy din yung mga saglit na mga pag-ulan. Sa ating mga kababayan po sa Visayas, asahan ng fair weather conditions for most of the day, pero may mga tsansa rin ng mga saglit na mga pag-ulan, lalo na sa may eastern portion of Visayas. At dito rin po sa may Panay Island, mataas ang tsansa ng mga saglit na pag-ulan, walang kinalaman sa low pressure area or sa bagyo. Sa Mindanao, mas maraming mga magiging pag-ulan po, epekto po ito ng easterlies. As early as tanghali, may mga pag-ulan na tayo dito sa may Caraga region as well as Davao. And then pagsapit po ng hapon hanggang sa gabi, ay mataas ang tsansa ng mga thunderstorms dito sa may northern Mindanao, Bangsamoro region, Socsargen, and Zamboanga Peninsula. Sa tanghali naman po or umaga hanggang tanghali, asahan ng may kainitang panahon, nasa 31 to 32 degrees Celsius at partly cloudy to cloudy skies naman po sa Visayas and Mindanao. Meron po tayong gale warning epekto ng amihan or northeast monsoon, pero tanging dito na lamang po sa may Batanes hanggang 4.5 metrong taas na mga pag-alon, so delikado pa rin po ito sa maliliit na sasakyang pandagat. In other areas naman po, magiging banayad hanggang sa katamtaman ng taas ng mga pag-alon. Sa Metro Manila, simula po sa Saturday hanggang sa katapusan ng Enero, Monday, January 31, asahan po natin ang mababang tsansa ng mga pag-ulan sa umaga po yan. Sa tanghali naman, naglalaro from 31 to 32 degrees Celsius ang ating maximum temperature, so mainit po yan. And then pagsapit ang hapon hanggang sa gabi, ay mataas ang tsansa ng mga pulupulong pag-ulan or localized thunderstorms, lalo na po sa Sunday at sa Monday. Sa ating mga kababayan po at mga mamamasyal sa Baguio City, pagsapit po ng weekend, mataas ang tsansa ng mga pag-ulan sa Sabado ng hapon, sa Sunday as early as tanghali, mataas ang tsansa ng mga pag-ulan hanggang sa gabi po yan. And then sa Monday, merong mga pag-ulan na as early as morning, cloudy skies po tayo sa araw ng Lunes. And then asahan po natin yung temperatura mananatiling mababa pa rin naman mula sa 15 hanggang 24 degrees Celsius for the next 3 days. Sa ating mga kababayan po sa Bicol Region, particular na dito sa may Legazpi City, sa weekend asahan po natin yung bahagyang maulap hanggang sa maulap pa rin na kalangitan. May tsansa ng mga pag-ulan lalo na po sa hapon hanggang sa gabi. Sa Lunes naman as early as morning, meron na tayong mga pag-ulan. Epekto pa rin ito ng localized thunderstorms, and then for the rest of the day, partly cloudy to cloudy skies. Sa atong mga kaigsuonan din sa Metro Cebu, sa Sabado hanggang sa Lunes, asahan pa rin ang bahagyang maulap hanggang sa maulap na kalangitan. Mataas ang tsansa ng mga pag-ulan sa Saturday ng hapon, sa Sunday ng tanghali hanggang gabi, and then sa Monday, meron din tayong mga pag-ulan as early as morning. Panghuli sa atong mga kaigsuonan din sa Metro Davao, asahan pa rin ang maaraw na panahon for most of the day. So asahan din ang mainit at malinsangang panahon lalo na sa tanghali. Sa susunod po yan na 3 araw. Then meron tayong mga chance ng mga pag-ulan sa Sunday ng hapon, meron tayong mga localized thunderstorms, at sa Monday ng hapon hanggang sa gabi. Sunrise natin ay 6:25 in the morning at ang sunset ay 5:53 p.m. And muna latest mula dito sa Weather Forecasting Center ng DOST PAGASA, ako po si Benison Estareja na nagsasabing sa anumang panahon, pag-asa ang magandang solusyon.
Ayon, maraming salamat sa iyo, Benison Estareja, ang siyang weather specialist po ng DOST PAGASA. Okay mga kaibigan, nagatid sa atin niya sa oras na alas 6:11 po ng gabi, Philippine Standard Time. Abay, nanonood din pala sa atin yung ating kaagila, si Kaagila Magas Gakusana ng Iligan City. At abangan niyo po ang kanyang pagbabalik o ang kanyang pagpunta dito sa Metro Manila sa Pebrero. No? At siya pupunta rito sa studio at syempre mag-uusap po kami hinggil sa kanyang gagawing programa dito sa Millennial Online TV. At gayon din kay Kuyang Ricky Del Rosario na ating kaagila rin at siya po'y miyembro ng Malabon City PNP. Ano ba, hindi ka ba naka-duty ngayon, Kuyang Ricky? Kumusta mo nga ako kay Kuyang Gerald, ha? Hindi na kami masyado nagkakausap, botong napunta siya sa warrant section. Madalas kami magkausap na siya nasa Office of the Chief of Police. Kaso mula nung naging ang happy nyo dyan ay si Colonel Barot, wala, nalipat na siya ng warrant section. Well, anyway, magandang hapon at magandang gabi po sa lahat ng ating mga kaagila. No, yung ating mga kaagila, maging anong club kayo, may magandang gabi sa inyo. Aba, syempre, hindi nyo natatanong mga miyembro din dyan, sina Senator Bongo, si BBM, si Pangulong Duterte, si Secretary Harry Roque, yan nga si General Guillermo Eliazar. May mga miyembro po yan ng Philippine Eagles. Yung pong isang NGOs na talagang ang grupo po niyan ay nationwide. Pagdating po sa public service, lalo na nung nakaraan lockdown noong 2020, abay wala pong humpay, no, ang ginagawang serbisyo publiko ng Philippine Eagles, no, ng iba't ibang club ng Eagles. Ganyan pong katikas, ganyan pong kabuti ang mga miyembro po ng Philippine Eagles, the Fraternal Order of Eagles. Okay, sa mga kaibigan, alas 6:13 na po ng gabi, Philippine Standard Time. Naku, yung ating mga bakuna dyan, abay, kita nyo naman kung bakit sinasabi po ng gobyerno yan, ultimo sa mga MRT station ay maglalagay po ng vaccination center na. Kaya po yung mga sasakay o bababa at gustong magpabakuna ay ando na. Alam ko maglalagay yata dyan sa may Cubao, sa may Ayala, no, at iba pang station ng MRT. Yung pong ating mga kababayan, yun hindi na kayo mahihirapan. Kung halimbawa galing kayo sa trabaho, pauwi o papasok, pwede na po kayo doon magpabaksin. No? Wala nang kaproblema. O, di after nyo magpabaksin, o di sakay na kayo ng MRT, no? Pasok na kayo. Magbaon lang kayo ng paracetamol dahil sabi nga nila, pag nasaksakan, medyo maglalagnat, para meron kayong suporta kaagad na gamot. Ako, hindi naman kasi ako sumasakay ng MRT. Alam niyo naman, meron akong BTEC. Kaya may sasakyan ako. Hindi ako masasakay ng MRT. Meron ho akong BTEC. Kami ni Joshua. Bitikleta. Yung sinasabi ko, yung mga ating netizen, yung ating mga commuters na yung sumasakay po ng MRT, abay hindi na kayo mahihirapan, ha? Naandyan na po ang vaccination center. Nilagay na dyan. Nilapit na sa tao. Wala na kayong hanapin pa. Ano pa ba? Hindi nyo na kinakailangan pumila sa mga mall. Hindi nyo na kinakailangan magpunta at magpa-schedule sa mga school, sa mga LGU. Ay nahandyan ho sa inyong terminal na kung saan kayo sasakay. Okay? So, di ba? Yun ang sinasabi natin. Kaya nga, alam nyo, maraming nagbabiral ngayon, yung mga kababayan natin na ayaw magpabakuna. Meron pa nga dyan yung natatandaan nyo yung tindera sa palengke na nagmura pa. Ngayon, nagmamakaawa siya. Di ba? So, kasi ganun. Ngayon, kung alimbawang ayaw nyo sumunod, di wag na lang kayo sumunod. Kahit si Pauci Persida Acosta nagpaliwanag, di ba? At nagsabi rin siya kay Pangulong Duterte na hindi siya pwede magpabakuna dahil meron siyang sakit, etc. May hinihintay siyang gamot na yun ang kanyang gagawin. Ganun lang. Pero para magmura ka, hindi naman. Ang isa lang naman ang sinabi ni Pauci, huwag i-discriminate yung mga unvaccinated. Buti na lang kami ni Joshua, bakunado na. May tata kami, nakatunayan kami na bakunahan. Hindi ba Joshua, no? Pinabakunahan ko pa si Joshua sa isang private school. Kita mo Joshua, no? Nga lang, di kami sa kwarto na aircon. Pero aircon doon, Joshua, yung pinakunahan mo, aircon doon. Nga lang, siyempre, open air, open ang pinto, siyempre, medyo hindi mo mararamdaman ang aircon. Ako, naramdaman ko yung aircon dahil ako binakunahan doon sa SM Sangandaan sa Caloocan. Siyempre, doon ang aircon doon ay yung lahatan, tawag doon. Lahat aircon doon sa mall, kaya malakas ang aircon. Okay mga kaibigan, ako alas 6:16 na po ng gabi. Yung kanina sinasabi natin na itutungay natin sa inyo yung ating sa DOST, no? Yung programa ng DOST na yun nga nagkaroon sila ng isang conference doon nga tungkol sa weaving and creative, sustainable and inclusive future of Philippine textiles today. Alam nyo, yung ating yung mga tela na yan, mga kaibigan, ay nanggagaling po sa mga punong kahoy din natin dito sa bansa. Doon kinukuha yan at ginagawa pong tela, kahit naman yung bulak kahit naman yung papel lahat yan sa puno nang gagaling. Nga lang, yung iba naman kasi natin na mga kababayan, lalo na yung mga illegal loggers, putol naman kasi ng puno na hindi naman dapat putulin. So may talagang puno na talagang yun ang para gawing kahoy, para gawing bulak at tela, no, at papel. Well, anyway, mga kaibigan, pakinggan po natin sa DOST, Philippines, yan, kung paano yung ginawa nilang konferensya tungkol dito. Marami ba tayong mga puno na pwedeng pagkunan ng tela? Anong klaseng tela? Katulad nga sinasabi ko sa inyo, yung rami. Yung rami na tela, gustong-gusto ko yun dahil maganda siyang, ang texture niya maganda. Na hindi naman maong, pero parang maong kung titingnan mo, pero hindi mo rin pwede sabihin yung pandesente, yung tela ng kukur, at saka yung kuko. Pero maganda ho, kaso parang nawala ng telang rami. Dahil wala na ako nakita at nabalita na rami na tela. Mga kaibigan, alawin naman natin sa DOST Philippines kung anong mga puno, kung ano to mga tela, no, dito natin sa bansa na talagang nakikita niyo suot kong coat. Ito po'y tela to. Hindi ko lang malaman kung ito yung wool o alam ko wool marami ho tayong tela, no, maraming klase, may satin, may cotton, may maong. So lahat yan ang gagaling po sa punong kahoy. Yun ang pagkakaalam ko dahil nung nag-aaral po ako noon, according to the Book of Almanac. Kita nyo, Book of Almanac, malalim yun. Pwera pa yung encyclopedia. Siyempre, hindi man ako nagbabasa ng encyclopedia noon. Pasada lang, pero hindi ganun ka, pero Book of Almanac, nababasa ko yan. Yun ito, kaya doon ko nakita, nalaman ko yung ating mga sinusot na damit, tela, binibili natin, pinatatahin natin, galing po sa mga punong kahoy. Kita nyo, another information, kita nyo. Yung mga millennials natin ngayon, baka hindi nyo alam na nanggagaling sa mga punong kahoy, yung telang natin, yung mga sinusot yung damit, yung binibili nyo sa mga mall, pinapatahin nyo man, sa mga modista, sastre, galing po yan sa punong kahoy. Okay, sa mga kaibigan, sa oras na alas 6:19 po ng gabi Philippine Standard Time, alamin natin sa DOST Philippines itong tungkol sa ginawa nilang conference tungkol dito sa Philippine Textile Today. Tunghayan natin.
afternoon and welcome back to the plenary session of the 2022 Textile Tela Conference. I am Julius Liania Jr., your host for this afternoon. So basically this morning we were able to listen to the talk of the message from the Secretary of the Department of Science and Technology, our keynote speaker, the Honorable Representative Lauren D. Legarda, and the first plenary speaker, Representative Stella Luz A. Kimbo. But before we resume with the different presentations from our distinguished plenary speakers, we will be presenting the different entries of the Tela Rawan and the Digitela Art Contest. So kindly turn your attention on the screen and see and discover the creativity that we got. Thank you. have it, ladies and gentlemen, the entries to the two competitions that we launched online. One of that is the Digitella Art, and you just could see the outpouring of creativity amongst our learners, from our high school students to the college students and to our digital artists. And the other one, the Telarawan, which is just launched for this year's Tela, is a celebration of how our government officials and employees are actually embracing the Philippine tropical fabric. And you could just see a good cross-section from across different government agencies, different locations, from the north all the way to the south, and this tremendous display of their patronage, love, and recognition of our Philippine textiles. And it can range from just a small face mask all the way to your office uniforms. And this is exactly what the TELA conference is all about, and the TELA program is all about, to raise the level of awareness, especially and specifically in the use of the Philippine tropical fabrics for government uniforms. So again, good afternoon for those who just tuned in. I am Julius Liani Jr., and I will be your host for this afternoon. So on to our plenary session. Our second speaker and our first this afternoon personifies the inspiring transition from a killer earthquake victim to a resilient, innovative lifesaver that gave her an award as the first ASEAN woman leader in ASEAN Business Investment Summit in Myanmar in 2014. Her altruistic efforts to empower women on food security and sustainable livelihood through Tropica food manufacturing were recognized by the ASEAN Women Entrepreneur Network, awarding her the Outstanding ASEAN Woman Entrepreneur Network of 2015 in Hanoi, Vietnam. Her valuable contribution to society in MSME inclusive growth as part of the APEC global value chain, and her outstanding work performance in occupational safety and health made her on the list of the awardees among the 100 most influential Filipino women in the world 2016 by the Filipino Women Network at a San Francisco, USA-based women-led organization. With her life's work, she has chosen to represent the Philippines in the APEC Best Top Manager Awards during the APEC Summit in La Serena, Chile in 2019. Her passion to educate and empower people to save lives ignited her resolve and founded the Community Health Education Emergency Rescue Services Foundation, and years after, the Cheers Academy, a social enterprise put up to meet the challenge of better equipping communities in the occurrence of disasters, calamities, and this global pandemic. She is also the focal point person to APEC Policy Partnership on Women and the Economy, representative to the United Nations Women, head of delegation in the ASEAN Ministerial Meeting on Women, among many other positions. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to present to you, to give and talk about protect, produce, empower, no other than the chairperson of the Philippine Commission on Women, the Honorable Sandra S. Montano.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you, Dr. Jules, the teleconference chairperson, for the generous introduction. Good afternoon to each and everyone, and welcome to our 2022 teleconference. Okay, our keynote speaker, Deputy Speaker Representative of the Lone District of Antique, Honorable Lauren Ligarda, Deputy Minority Leader and Representative for the 2nd District of Marikina, the Honorable Stella Luz Kimbo, where we worked together hand in hand last year in Marikina for the mass, and of course the forerunner in mainstreaming Philippine textile. We will agree that she is our mentor, at the same time the epitome of the Philippine textile, no other than Ms. Marga Montemayor Nograles, the better half of Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles. He's also a staunch supporter of the food innovation. Mr. Edric Ong, the president of the ASEAN Handicraft Promotion and Development Association. Good afternoon, sir. And of course, we also have the USC Undersecretary for Research and Development, Dr. Rowena Cristina Guevara, PTRI Director, Director Celia Lumba, Dr. Julius, which is the 2022 teleconference, and we also have the Assistant Commissioner of the Civil Commission, Attorney Ariel Ronquillo, the men and women of the Philippine Textile Research Institute, fellow workers in the government. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. So, My presentation will be divided into two, which is I would like to highlight the endangering sustainability and inclusivity of the homestyle and wearables done by the great women. And then also I will be sharing the program, the platform that we did during the COVID-19 response, wherein we were able to do it the PPE, or the protect, produce, and empower. Okay, so my presentation will highlight one of the emerging practices of the Great Women Project in the homestyle and wearables. Okay, so this is what we call the Great Women Project, piloted the product assessment activity in Naga. One of the WMSME who attended the activity is, of course, the BDBD owner enterprises. Okay, so the overview of my presentation is the supporting women economic empowerment, or the WE project. And then we have also the emerging model of homestyle and wearables. Okay, and then the market-driven design and development with the designers, entrepreneurs. Okay, next. So the WE project, the Philippine Commission on Women is the lead in executing agency of the Supporting Women Economic Empowerment Project, also known as the Gender Responsive Economic Actions for the Transformation of Women, or this is what we call the Great Women Project 2, which is funded by the Government of Canada. Next. The WE project aims to contribute to job generation and inclusive growth by assisting the women micro-entrepreneurs or enterprises in two ways. Okay, first is improving the competitiveness and sustainability of their enterprises, and of course, improving and enabling environment of women's economic empowerment. In 2017, the project prioritized the following industry clusters. Okay, we have the first one, which is homestyle and wearables. We have the processed fruits and nuts, and the selected high-value crops, which is coffee and cacao. The enrollment was slightly above the target. We targeted 700, but enrollment goes up to 831 women micro-entrepreneurs. So processed fruit and nuts and selected high-value crops had the biggest share in the enrollment, with 389 women, followed by the homestyle and wearables with 280 women. Cacao and coffee industry posted the lowest number of enrollees with 87 women and 75 women respectively. So we were able to have a convergence, which is a strategy we've done in the implementation, wherein partners are expected to pull in programs and services for the women micro-entrepreneurs, which is DTI, Department of Agriculture, ECOSI Foundation, the Bayan Academy, and the NATCO, and of course, Department of Science and Technology, under the office of PTRI of Dr. Celia Lumba, Director Celia Lumba. Okay. Okay, next. The project also collaborated with other WE stakeholders, such as the FDA for the Food Safety, SITEM and Design Center of the Philippines for Product Development and Market Development Expansion. Under the Product Design and Development Program, the project engaged designer entrepreneurs from all over the world in order to develop product acceptable to the market and link them to the institutional buyer. So this is the partnership that this Great Women platform was able to engage in. It values natural, indigenous, environment-friendly products for sustainability, and it also pushes for reissuing or reusing, repurposing, and upscaling in line with the accessible economy. So the designer entrepreneurs highlighted using natural and locally sourced materials and maximizing these resources in the design and development that they did. Okay, so they were able to really highlight the local fabrics. Okay, next. So we have here an emerging model of homestyle and wearables. This is what we call the BDBD enterprises among the women MSME who achieve economic empowerment as a result of the project intervention. The owner is Bernadette de los Santos, transformed her passion for arts and crafts into a social enterprises with focus on green business. So what are the specific project contributed to the following? Okay. First, with the project on Great Women and all these stakeholders, she was able to improve entrepreneurial mindset. Ms. De Los Santos did not take her business seriously. before. She regarded sewing, embroidery, and crafting, patchwork, using old clothes and old bottles like a hobby, a very ordinary hobby. Okay, so next is develop new products acceptable to markets. Her exposure to specialty niche market and one-on-one mentoring with Sarah Juan and other designers who serve as one of the product specialists help her see a different perspective on product development and market. She learned how to come up with a collection and how to cater to the taste of the specialty or the niche market. This is very important because we don't want to be just among them. We want to create a niche market. Okay, she was also able to develop new product design featuring woven baskets, hand embroidery, crochet, and macrame, inspired by the abundance of raw materials in no other than Camarines Sur. She developed bags made from bangkawan, which uses dried saluyot from her farm turned into fiber. So imagine the innovation that she was able to do. Her creations were featured and sold out in Manila Fame last April 2018. With the positive feedback on her new design, she was inspired to create collections for the coming Artifino 2018, a movement that celebrates the modern Filipino and the artist entrepreneur. And of course, she was able to increase market access and sales. BDBD was linked to fashion houses such as Beatriz and Belia, Studio Juan, and Maison Sanreal, notable designers such as Gabi Sarenas and Miss Josie Natori, Eco Store, and the Great Women brand. With these exposures that they have, she became more confident to expand her market in Palawan. So the products are now sold in Robinson's Place, in Puerto Princesa, in Bid Cafe, in Leo Beach Resort, in El Nido, Palawan. She estimated an increase of 500% in her sales, especially at the Manila Fame exposure. So if you ask me, okay, all this was a very promising recognition and being a successful MSME, De Los Santos was able to gain recognition as in her green practice. She was one of the APEC Best Awardee in 2017. She won the Best Green Economy. She was nominated by ASEAN Women Entrepreneur Network. Okay, next slide, please. So one of the highlights of this is she was able to increase employment and improve the working conditions. So from the products, it generated job from 10 employees, which were mostly part-time. Her enterprise employs now 63 employees, composed mostly of rural women. All employees are provided with social protection such as SSS, Pag-ibig, PhilHealth, cash bonus, and other incentives, and educational loans for the children. So from 108 income per day of her employees now earn 645 per day, which is above the minimum average regular employees are receiving. So recognizing the importance of financial management, she taught her employees to save a portion of their income for family needs such as children's education. So in 2017, she opened up BDBD Cafe, which served produce from La Huerta Farm. The cafe employs local students who work part-time to support their studies. Okay, and then the design of the market-driven development with designer entrepreneurs was modeled after the lessons learned from the pilot activity, which was assisted by these different well-known designers. Okay, so the target of the We Project and the Great Women Project was able to deploy it in 8 regions, in 11 provinces, in 15 women micro-enterprises, the weaving, and then 8 designers, entrepreneurs. Okay, so the following slides, I'm going to share to you the different technical assistance in product design and development with designers, entrepreneurs. So we have the leveling of session with weaving groups and designers, entrepreneurs. And then if you can see here, the session with Kalyak Blaan Care Group in Pulomok, South Cotabato. And then we have the product assessment and on-site design and development session with Kenhulung Handicraft Federation in Lake Cebu in South Cotabato. And of course, we have with Eman Handweavers Association in Bansalan, Davao del Sur. We also have the design and on-site development session with Salingan in Oton in Iloilo. And then we have the product assessment and on-site design development session with Woodley in Santa Barbara, Iloilo. And then here we have in San Jose, Cooperative in Sarat, Ilocos Norte. And then in Handloom Weavers Cooperative in Paway, Ilocos Norte. So you can see similar faces, or sometimes they're so old that, di ba, sabi natin before, weaving is an parang dying passion. So we really have to emphasize that this is a very nice hand-me-down program or talent that we have to pass on to the next generation. So Cooperative in Paway, Ilocos Norte, and then we also have in Camarines Sur, and of course in Laguindingan, in Misamis Oriental, and in Santa Barbara, Iloilo. So we also have in Antique the Bagtason, and of course we have the Kinagunan Ibaba Women Association in Quezon. And of course, we have the Lab Tie-Dye Weavers Association in Banawe, Ifugao. So it's very, very colorful. And we were able to help the designer entrepreneur in coaching and bidding and embroidery techniques with Lab Tie-Dye Weavers Association in Banawe, Ifugao, and also in Banawe, Ifugao here. And we have the Natural Dye Producers Cooperative in Penarubia, Abra. So this is up north. And this is one-of-a-kind iconic cocoon bags. And Wing Creatures Fabric Art brooches in Stilo Artifino Best Product in Accessories in 2018. And of course, the Maxi Boho dress made with Patajong. And the Cece Belgian lace clips. And Cecilia multi-way sash. Binakul hat. Throw blanket, if you can see, if it's being worn by the models, then napaka-social na po niyang tignan. This weaves was also incorporated with handmade fabrics, the shoes, incorporated with handmade fabrics and the beaded t-shirts, and of course the casted accessories. And we have also a bag made with raffia. So these are raffia in partnership with Javianas. This is with Sarah Juan. So these were the collaboration program that we have. Again, in 8 regions, we visited 13 WMSME weaving communities, was engaged, 7 designer entrepreneur involved, and 79 designs developed collaboration with 73% are women micro enterprises who received this intervention. So what are the lessons learned that we can share right now? Okay, so we would like to say that, you know, we understand women economic empowerment from the perspective of the integrating empowerment inputs in the process. And the WE project gave equal emphasis on the women empowerment and business development inputs from the start of the project. So we have to see to it that from the start till the end, the Great Women Project of DTI, DOST, PTRI, EDA, and of course PCW, we are there to monitor, to walk hand in hand with them. And we would like to recognize the empowering process should be treated as another value or perspective to promote and advance women entrepreneurship, especially the women micro-entrepreneurs. So in particular, the differentiation of Great Women 2 from the other MSME assistance would be, this is the word that I would like to use, it's a transformational rather than transactional nature of assistance. We just don't want to sell. We want to transform lives. We want to empower the women. We want them to stand on their own. We want them to be sustainable enough. So that is transformational empowerment. So for a big majority of women MSME, their personal vision is directly connected with their business vision right now. So before, it's just a passion, it's just a personal vision that I hope one day I'll become one of those great weavers. Now it's become a business vision because of this mentoring that we have. And that enterprise growth is an end, it's not an end itself, but facilitates their own personal development and acquisition of a better life for their respective families and communities. Because if you can see in the in Philippine Commission on Women, when we talk about market-driven approach. There is this product specialist, and there should be always private sector and the product development. So we're so happy to really partner with the UST-PTRI for this kind of teleconference. And of course, we don't want to forget that at the end of the day, we also have to emphasize the culture and gender sensitivity process. Like for instance, solo parent, the OFW, they can have a chance to partner with us. And if they have the talent, so there's the community leveling off the supply requirement, the market trends, the target market, the designs, and then the quality control. And of course, yan na papasok yung mga designers leveled off on production capacity, because they always say that, oh, I have a lot of waves, but there's no buyer. The question is, what is your capacity when it comes to production? So what are the cultural restrictions? What are the reproductive and productive roles of women? Because, sometimes when women are in the reproductive days, like they gave birth, they are breastfeeding, some of the works they're doing will be put on a sideline, because their priority is the growing number of the family, the kids, the husband, and of course taking care of their welfare. Especially with the COVID-19 pandemic, they are overburdened. This is what we call overwork, underpaid. So they stay very long. And then is there institutional buyers for communities like them? So those are the things we have to consider when we started this project. So that is the program that we have before the pandemic. And now I would like to share to you our COVID response during the time of pandemic. We call it the Protect, Produce, and Empower, or the PPE. Okay, so I was then a Commissioner for Science and Health, July 1, when we signed the Memorandum of Agreement between the UST-PTRI and Community Health Education Emergency Rescue Services, or CHEERS. It's a foundation. At the same time, another hat is a social enterprise, which we were able to have the textile product development initiative in response to the COVID-19. So if we can remember, March 2019, the lockdown started, and then there was a need for everybody to wear PPE, to wear masks. But during those times, talagang napakamahal. If not napakamahal, it's so expensive. It is not even available in the market. So being a Commissioner for Science and Health, I was able to really think of how we can help and how women can become a part of the solution. So I approach the OST-PTRI, and then we have maybe Director Celia, di ba, mga few meetings that we have before we inked in the Memorandum of Understanding, or MOA, and then we visited the facilities of the UST-PTRI. So if you can see here, I'm wearing a weave from, I think, Cordillera. Ito po yung mga table runner na iniligay ko sa jacket ko para magmukha siyang maganda. And then, so the different areas wherein how we can collaborate, the digital cutting area, and then the weaving area wherein we could later on work on the NC2, or National Certificate of Handloom Weaving. Okay, so together with the commissioners of the Philippine Commission on Women, Commissioner Limbona, Commissioner Tess, Commissioner Judy, and some of the advocates, women advocates of weaving, we continue to collaborate with them. So if you can see, I'm wearing a weave from Cordillera again, and my shoes is from Marikina. Lagi po akong pinagtatawanan ni Yusik Bless, Director Celia, because sabi, 1 year mo na yung shoes yan, Chair, 350 pesos lang yan. So binili ko po yan noong kasagsagan ng COVID-19. Na ang dami po kasing nag-close. There's a lot of factories closed, so we have to help them repurpose the shoe factory in Marikina. So this is one of the highlight of the partnership that we have. We were able to use the cutting facility, the digital cutting facility of the UST-PTRI. And of course, one of the good news is PTRI has an approved textile manufacturer, which we were able to purchase all the local textile from Las Piñas to Calamba, Laguna, and it really evolves the economic sustainability, because during that time there was this hoarding of this tela, and majority of the people don't want to give the regular price. They are giving the very high price. So we were able to discuss, and the good news is these are all approved by the Department of Health, and of course we have this testing of the cloth mask specification. The fabric is three-ply, so the outer span is bound for, it should be non-woven, brushed cotton fabric, and then we have the flat fold duckbill curve. So all these we have to undergo to make sure that this can be used to protect our frontliners, especially in the communities, and all this 110 population. So the president during that time give a very strong support to our local mananahe, and we partner with the DTI, our MSME mananahe. So this is an assembly sequence, okay, the outer, the middle, and the inner. And of course, this is one of the happiest thing that we were able to convince Secretary, DTI Secretary Mon Lopez, and of course, the Secretary Duque to use that material, that mask, for the coordinated operations on the COVID-19 epidemic, which is, we call it the COVID-19 Code Team launching. So we've launched it in Rizal. And then part of the Ayuda package that they're giving is they're giving 25 pieces of that mask, which is
Binabati lang ho natin muna mga kaibigan, sandali lamang at medyo pinost lang natin. Ito pong si Richard Demain, no? Nanonood daw siya ngayon. At ang pag-shoutout ay mula po kay Rona Bolalake Ramos, no? Gayun din magandang gabi kay Dan Espinosa, at gayun din kay Peps Messina, no? Kay Peps Messina, at sinashoutout natin yung mga taga Wancho Esong and Company, Sipas. Ayan, magandang gabi po sa inyo at maligayang pakikinig po sa inyo. At ganyan din kay aking kumare, Chris Torres, sabi niya, good evening. Ayan, parin Peps, kita mo. At yun, si Enad Isidro, yan po sa may Francis sa Malabon, no? Magandang gabi sa inyo dyan. At kay Ma'am Evelyn Lim Matsuo, na nasa Japan po ngayon, nanonood, at si Lorna Buhalog Ligon, yan naman po sa Barangay Bayan-Bayanan. Ayan, at sabi niya, good evening, nanonood daw siya ngayon. Magandang gabi sa inyo. At ganyan kay Kagawad Sanidad at Pineda, at yun, nanonood daw sa kanya. Nanonood daw ngayon si Buddy Ipe. Kasama niya pala si Boss Ipe na nanonood ngayon. At yan, magandang gabi sa inyo dyan. At yun, si Jaime Santos Pahayag, mga taga San Jose del Monte, magandang gabi po sa inyo dyan. At maligayang panonood po, no? At yun, kay Joel Cabusora Regindin, buhat po sa lalawigan ng Ilocos Sur. At kay Ma'am Evelyn, ayun, nabati na natin kay Ma'am Evelyn, at syempre kay Miss Jackie Adahar, ang ating katropang LMT, no? Wala na tayong nakalimutan. Yan, kompleto na. At si Tio Edgardo Lopez, yung ating tiyuhin na nasa Siniluan sa Laguna. Ayan, muli, shout out po sa mga taga San Jose del Monte, especially do sa ating reporter na si Jaime Santos Pahaya, ganyan din kay Sani Dadal Pineda, at yung kanyang kabady, no? Yung kanyang anak-anakan, si Ipe. Ayan. At si Ma'am Evelyn Lim Matsuo, Lorna Buhalog, Buhalog Ligon. At yung pinasa-shoutout po ni Ma'am Rona Ramos na si Richard Demain, nanonood po ngayon dyan sa Barangay Katmon sa Malabon, at kay Boss Danny Espinosa at kay Peps Messina, yung sa mga empleyado ng Wancho Esong and Company, no? Si Pas. Ayan, magandang gabi sa inyo at maligayang pakikinig po.
all local ang textile, local ang mananahe, all local, even the materials and the weavers are local. Okay. And then we were able to launch it also in Davao, in Bulacan, together with Governor Daniel Fernando and the IATF team. Of course, the Secretary Vince Dizon, lahat po sila talagang na-highlight po yung ating and one of our staunch advocate for women empowerment is Mayor Vico Soto, wherein we turn over in Pasig City. And since we need a lot of mananahe, of sewers, the problem now is they can marunong silang magtahe, they can do the mask making, but they don't have what do we call this, wala po silang yung mga makina. So together with my friends, okay, so we were able to donate this kind of makina. Some majority of the makina that we donated are high-speed sewing machine from different areas. So this is then since madami na po sila, we call them the KKK. We call them the Kabaihan, Kamay ng Kaligtasan, Kabuhayan. So they are empowered women staying at home to help flatten the curve while finding a living for the whole family. So the logistic is we send them the cut materials from the digital cutting area of the USCPTRI, and then it's packed already, good for like 500, and then after 1 week, the logistic team will go back. They will be paid per piece, and then it will be packed again to be delivered to the IATF team. So the single mother, the solo parent, the 4-piece PWD patronizing and buying the local rewear mask. Okay, so this is our Mananahi team in Tarlac. Okay, so this used to be a restaurant. It's Pitas Moluto Ko restaurant. Okay, so it was transformed into digital cutting area at saka sewing area. Okay, so this is our the produce of the KKK Mananahi in Tarlac. We also have the 3rd district in Pangasinan. So, and we also have in Gapan, Nueva Ecija, Team La Union, Team Marikina. Okay, kasama po natin si Congresswoman Stella Kimbo dito at saka si Secretary Mon Lopez. And then we have Team Binalonan, Pangasinan, and Team Batangas, Team Porac, Pampanga. Okay, so what is the essence of this? We would like that women should be part of the solution. And if we empower women, if we make sure that women are given the skills and then the education, chances are they will be part of the nation building. So lagi ko pong sinasabi that women are beautiful beyond pressure, and they are also powerful beyond measure. Thank you, and good afternoon to each and everyone.
Thank you very much for that, Chair Sandy. And it's a very interesting presentation of the cross-section of the interventions that the collective efforts, not just of the PCW, but the convergence of a lot of government agency was presented through the Great Women Project in your first part of your presentation, and also the initiatives that were actually done at the height when everybody just stood still. I hope you are still there. Maybe I can ask you, you've been given this, very strategic position to be as chairman of the Philippine Commission on Women, and you've been really literally like going around, spinning around at the time when everything and everybody was just staying still at the initial parts of the initial moments and months of the pandemic. If I may ask you, when meeting women, for example, who have been part of these recovery efforts in the making of the face mask in particular, is there anything particular that you saw in them that is shared across all the other women who are actually part of this endeavor?
Thank you for that, Dr. Julius. Actually, when I started approaching them, I would ask them, okay, how are you? Kumusta ka? And then with a smile on their face, tears on their eyes, they will say, I'm okay, I'm fine. Pero makikita mo yung pain. Makikita mo yung they would like to earn. These are the women survivor, victim survivor of violence against women and children, which is one of the programs that we would like to end in PCW. But the good thing is they have a very positive spirit. They have a very positive mindset. Given the chance, they have all the talents. They can really work 24/7. One example that we donated one high-speed sewing machine in one family. So the nanay would sew like 8 to 5, and then yung 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock ng gabi, ng 12 o'clock ng gabi yung kanyang anak, and then yung 12 o'clock at saka yung 6 o'clock ng umaga yung kanyang anak na lalaki. So instead of them playing this computer or just being there 24/7, they were able to produce like 1,500 in a week na mass. And then there was a shift of role. The father or the husband, now being a construction worker, is the one taking care of the family, cooking, drying, washing the clothes, and then taking care of the small children. So nakikita natin yung yung collaborative effort at saka yung burden ng pagiging babae ay kung maiiwasan kung talagang lahat ay involved. So we would really like to take advantage of the talents that we have with the women. Even though they're at home, they're really they're very industrious and they have all the talents. And sometimes when I go there, they would say that, ma'am, before pag kumakain kami ng tuyo, we just iniihaw lang nila. But with the program that we have with them, Dr. Jules at Director Celia, nakakapagprito na daw sila because they can now buy yung mantika. So those are the stories that it's very heartwarming for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very well said. It really takes somebody who's really there on the ground to really observe all of these dynamics. And we see that textiles was indeed, at the very least, a medium upon which the creativity and the innate capability of women to spin something around at the height of everything that's very challenging in society is actually very apparent. So thank you very much, Chair Sandy. I hope you have recovered from your trip from nearby Pampanga, but I know you just arrived in Manila. Thank you very much for gracing the plenary session.
Yeah, we're doing the local learning hub monitoring and evaluation for the local chief executives. This is what we call the God Team Pala, because it's been 3 years. All these awardee from different regions. I would like to personally saw the facilities, and then there is this Pangasinan crisis intervention, and here in Pampanga they have the it's like the young children, and then young children nutrition, and then the women economic empowerment and the healthy women healthy economy. So there's a lot of things that we can benchmark, and I would like to really thank the OSCPTRI, because when I approach you, syempre hindi pa natin alam kung paano to, di ba, how will we sustain it, and then the logistic, but we were able to get it through. And thanks God, every time that I go out to do the logistical errands, I prayed na sana hindi ako mag-positive, so I could give a positive mindset to all the women. Okay, thank you and good afternoon again.
Thank you very much. That is the chairperson of the Philippine Commission on Women, the Honorable Sandra Montano. Thank you very much, Chair Sandy. So moving on to our next speaker, we have a multi-awarded Malaysian designer of naturally dyed textiles, fashion, and craft. He is the advisor and immediate past president of the Society Atelier Sarawak, the Arts and Crafts Society of Sarawak in East Malaysia. He is president of the ASEAN Handicraft Promotion Development Association, or APADA, an organization that administers the UNESCO APADA Craft Seal of Excellence since 2000. He is advisor and honorary member of the World Crafts Council Asia Pacific and honorary member of the World Crafts Council International. An architect by training, he is the author of several books, including Sarawak Style, Wakumbu Iban Textiles, Woven Dreams, Ikat Textiles of Sarawak. He is the founder of the World Eco Fiber and Textile Network, set up to further the cause of natural fibers and dyes, the convener of the Biennial WEF Forum since 1999. He is a curator of several exhibitions in Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, the Philippines, Korea, Australia, Japan, India, France, Sweden, the United Kingdom, and the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, for a glimpse on the promotion and the development of ASEAN textiles, it is my honor to present Mr. Edric Ong.
Thank you very much, Dr. Julius. It's an honor to be here, invited to share about what we're doing through APADA and the current situation. And if I can go directly to share my screen. Okay. Hopefully you can see my screen. Hello. Are you able to see my slide, Julius?
Yep. Very well, very clear.
Okay, thank you. So my topic is on the promotion and development of ASEAN textiles. And it is appropriate that I think that it is in special reference to Filipino textiles that I have prepared this PowerPoint. APADA. What is APADA? APADA is the ASEAN Handicraft Promotion and Development Association. In this picture, you see a woven Penan nomadic tribe of Sarawak, Borneo, rattan mat. So the objectives of APADA, which is now about 40 years old, we are going to celebrate our Ruby anniversary, is that it takes a common approach to export, development and promotion of handicrafts, and we act as a focal point for the promotion of handicrafts. Of course, that includes textiles. To operate as a focal point for product development and the conservation of raw material resources, to organize and participate in trade fairs and exhibitions to promote handicrafts, to stimulate the creation of employment opportunities, especially in rural areas of the ASEAN countries, and to encourage the preservation of craft skills. Our honorary chairperson and one of the co-founders is Madam Surapi Rojana Vong, or Dr. Surapi as we know her now. She's based in Thailand. Our advisors include Raja Fuzia Rajatun Uda from Malaysia, Dr. Mina Gabo from Philippines, Dr. Supani Jayaputra from Thailand, and Pak Tamrin Bustami from Indonesia. All of them are past presidents. Currently, I'm the president, and my secretary general is Elaine Chan, who is based in Jakarta. So I'd like to highlight some of our APADA recent projects in the last couple of years, more significantly and more actively before the COVID-19 pandemic hit us. However, even last year, we were able to host the Tanun Fashion Week 2021, and we had a co-creation project known as Fiber Links between APADA and National Taiwan Craft Research Institute, known as NTCRI. I also curated Crafting Artistry, a journey along the Maritime Silk and Spice Road in 2019 at Gallery Petronas in Kuala Lumpur. We carried on with our two international traveling exhibitions and forums. One is the World Ikat Textiles, known as WITS, which also was organized in Jakarta in 2019, and the Tree of Life themed exhibition, which was held in Chiang Mai in 2019. You can see here in the photo a version of the Tree of Life hand-painted on tree bark cloth by our Badayu artist from Sarawak, Abot Gudang. Coming to Tanun Fashion Week, our theme is the future is hand-woven. We believe that hand-woven textiles of ASEAN countries should be given its rightful place in today's fashion platform. The Tanun, meaning hand-woven, that we create the first fashion week dedicated completely to the hand weaves of ASEAN and to explore their continued use in today's fashion. So our focus is on the hand weaving communities, working hand in hand with fashion designers. So you can see here our poster, Tanun, and then we are saying that we also subscribe to the UNESCO Sustainable Development Goals. The Tanun Fashion Week comprised of digital fashion presentation screened online from the 15th to 17th of October 2021. But within those telecast nights, we also had two forums running, or what we call roundtable dialogue. And so it was a very interesting mix of intellectual discourse as well as the presentation of hand weaves fashioned by international ASEAN designers. So Tenun Fashion Week on day 1, on 15th of October, we had a panel discussion in between the telecast of all the submitted fashion videos from 7 countries in ASEAN. And the panel discussion on the first night was on patronage and the woven cloth. We had Manjari Nirula from the World Crafts Council, who is based in India, as one of the panelists. Mrs. Maribel Ongpin from HABI, the Philippine Textile Council, and then Ms. Tran from FIDR, who is based in Vietnam. On the second day, or the second night, on the 16th October, in between, again, the submitted video clips from the communities and designers, we had the panel discussion on innovation in woven textiles. We invited from PTRI, Celia Ilumba, and then from Jakarta, Mr. Eric Halin, who was promoting Tensal Textiles, and Dr. Siti Chais Manchat from Ubon Ratchathani University. And I was the moderator. The third night was a mix of online and offline because we were able to have the venue in the historic court building of Kuching, Sarawak, and we were able to show online all the video clips, but in between we had a fireside chat where we had an interview with a master weaver and living legend of Sarawak Iban Textiles, Madam Bangi Anak Embol. And we're very pleased to have the honor of the presence of our State Minister of Culture, Youth and Sports, Dato' Sri Hamza, with us that evening. So Tenun Fashion Week, we were very pleased that we had the appearance and participation of several Filipino communities and their designers. First of all, we had Nardas, based in Baguio. Then we had Custom Made Crafts Center. Then we had Riverland Farmers and Weaving Communities, which was presented by Ana India Legaspi, and Tupa ng Baras, presented by Dita Sandico. This was very beautiful fashion indeed. Then we had Sky Weavers with their very innovative fashion presentation. And of course, the iconic Rurungan Satubot Foundation based in Palawan, showcasing their beautiful hand-woven piña and piña mixes. So you can go on to our website with tenunfashionweek.com. The idea is that after the presentation of the fashion, we have created an online shop on the internet, so you can go in and shop online for the outfits or to get in touch with the producers for further orders. It is also available on the YouTube channel under the Tenun Fashion Week channel, which is listed here for your information. So promoting 45 ASEAN hand-woven textile communities with their fashion designers via Fashion Week Online. In fact, our particular presentation was so impressive that we brought it to an actual fashion show featuring 25 of the communities and the designers at an actual show at the Borneo Convention Center in Kuching in December. Next, I want to show you some of our Tree of Life exhibition, which was last held in Chiang Mai in Thailand. This is a curated exhibition which brings again collections from all over the world, including ASEAN, and it has been last shown as a fashion show and a conference in Chiang Mai, Thailand. Then we had the World Ikat Textiles, the ties that bind. It was first shown in the School of Oriental and African Studies, SOAS, in London in 2016. It then went on to Beekaner House in New Delhi in India in 2017, Kuching, Malaysia in 2017, Khon Kaen, Thailand in 2018, and Jakarta, Indonesia at the Textile Museum in 2019. In fact, we were in the midst of discussions to bring the World ICAT Textiles to the Philippines in 2020, but because of COVID, this has fallen through. And also there was plans to also bring the event to Uzbekistan in 2021. Again, that is being shelved for the moment. As you can see, we included among the ICATs from the Philippines, of course, from the Cordilleras, and also the ICAT, the Tinalak from the Tiboli in Mindanao. This is a photograph of a weaver from Sumba doing the demonstration when the event was held in Jakarta. The Tree of Life exhibition. Here, a photo here shows the beautiful tapestry woven by Nardas, which was included in the exhibition. The exhibition premiered in Malaysia, Gallery Petronas, and in Kuching in 2015 and 2016. It went on to India in 2016, the East West Center Gallery in Honolulu in 2017, the Le Pont Gallery in Vancouver, Canada in 2017. Then at the National Taiwan Craft Research Institute, both cities of Taipei and Nantou in 2018, Chiang Mai University in 2019. And if the pandemic had not hit us, we would have taken it to Bhutan in 2020, and then from there onwards to Shanghai in China at the end of 2020. We had a very successful online co-creation project working hand in hand with National Taiwan Craft Research Development Institute called Fiber Links. This was already a follow-up to the 2020 joint NTCRI APADA webinar on natural fiber craftsmanship. So this was a cross-cultural collaboration or co-creation project between 12 designers and artists and 12 natural fiber communities. Sorry, let me just, so this is the matching pair. As you can see, one of our Filipino artists is Dita Sandico, who partnered with one of the communities in Taiwan to create new products. Then we had a designer from Taiwan partnered with Anna India Legaspi on producing new products using her piña fabric. Carrying on to the other project that we did was Crafting Artistry, a journey along the Maritime Silk and Spice Road, which I curated. You can see some of the fiber works on display at Gallery Petronas. But in this particular exhibition, what was interesting is that we had a Filipino fine artist, Virgilio Paterno. He worked with our tree bark cloth from Sarawak, Malaysia, and painted 8 paintings using the iconic hornbill and flowers and flora and fauna from Borneo. And here are photos of 4 of these paintings, which were then mounted on as a demountable room divider. These are the birds and the orchids. So finally, I'd like to also invite you all to join ICANN. Now that everything is going online because we can't travel to one another so easily and frequently, I've created the International Craft and Art Network known as ICANN. It is a Facebook group so you can share and see what one another is doing. But you can also visit our APADA Facebook page, which is listed here on the screen. Upcoming program in 2022 is APADA will be celebrating our Ruby anniversary celebrations. And currently we are working with our country representatives to host a 2-day virtual event, which is a celebration, a virtual exhibition, a virtual fashion show, and an online symposium with the theme of crafts in personal adornment. So with that, I'd like to thank you, and you can look at our websites of APADA, my personal website, the Noon Fashion Week, And this is my personal contact. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was Mr. Edric Ong, the president of APAGA. So Edric, good afternoon again. It's nice to see you online, albeit I first had personally met Edric, I think almost more than a decade ago, much younger then, during a natural dice conference. Edric, you remember, in Korea, right? 2008. But of course, Edric is already a known figure in the ASEAN textile scene. So, Edric, can you please enlighten us? You've technically been everywhere in ASEAN, in the mainland Asia, maybe even of course, in Europe, in the Americas. What do you think is a common thing that binds the textiles, at the very least, of the Philippines to the rest of Southeast Asia? Because we always think we are different from the rest of Southeast Asia.
No, I think that honestly, Philippine textile, Philippine fashion, Philippine costume is already internationally well known. And many of your scholars, designers have brought it to the world stage. So the thing is that what they always talk about is how do you upscale? But in upscaling, you also want to say, do you really want to upscale? People are now talking more about circular economy. And everywhere in the academic world, in our World Crafts Council, in British Council, and everyone is harping on the theme of circular economy, that is made locally, consumed locally, reduce your carbon footprint. And I think that one of the beautiful things I have found is that there are enough Filipinos in the Philippines to consume what you weave and what you make in the Philippines. The thing is that there must be made very cool and fashionable for those who are following world trends, but also making it affordable for the majority of the population so that it is easily worn, easily taken care of. Nobody does so much hand washing anymore that you can just dump it into the machine, that your color doesn't run and mix and make all your other t-shirts red in color and so on and so forth. So I think that there are many issues to consider, but I would like to say that the focus should be more on made locally, worn locally. And so it is very good that I can see that you have the initiative during this particular month to promote the use of your fabric among your civil servants and among your government servants. I know that it has always been something that I have admired, that on certain days of the week, your civil servants are wearing your cotton barong Tagalog, especially the men. So I like to hope that this will be promoted even more.
Very insightful indeed. Thank you very much for those glimpse of what and how the Philippine textiles fare, not only in the ASEAN context, Edric, but at least in the perspective and in the consciousness of learned textile experts like you. So thank you very much. It's an honor to have been reunited with you and have been invited to the TELA conference for 2022.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you
very much.
Lilia Ilumba.
Okay. Mr. Edric Ong discussed and talked about handloom woven textiles. And in the Philippines, as the Philippines' only textile institute, we continue as well to provide a venue for stakeholders to converge, discuss the concerns of the industry, celebrate creativity and ingenuity, and promote science-based interventions. It seeks to bring together weavers from Batanes to Sulu and discuss the issues and concerns of this industry. This year, the DOST-PTRI, among many other platforms available in the ASEAN and in the country, will be hosting the first Philippine Handloom Weaving Conference. Ladies and gentlemen, a preview of that Philippine Handloom Weaving Conference happening this year.
stores, revolutionizing the Filipino fabric, a movement that manifests our textiles readiness for a future that is cosmopolitan and embracing cultures. Congratulations, Ryan. The second place in our Telarawan goes to Daniel Jose M. Castañeda of the Department of Transportation.
Ay sa punong kahoy nakukuha. Kaya yung mga millennials natin, baka hindi pa alam yon, yan po. Kaya po, malaking tulong ang ating mga punong kahoy. Kita nyo naman, katulad lang nung aloe vera, di ba? So, lahat to, halos lahat ng mga halaman punong kahoy ay may nakukuha po. No? At yan, kaya nga patuloy po ang pag-aaral na ginagawa ng ating mga scientist. Dahil dyan po, siyempre, nakakadiskubre ng mga maraming nadidiskubre po. Katulad ng sabong aloe vera, di ba, shampoo. So, meron kaya nga kinukuha ho yan doon sa halamang aloe vera. Yung tanim yung parang cactus kung makikita nyo. So, doon po kinukuha yan. So, kaya ho malaking pakinabang at kita nyo naman kasi, di ba, ang aloe vera maganda sa buhok dahil lalo na nung araw, kapag ika nga ang tao raw yung medyo nakakalbo na, ang gumamit ka ng aloe vera. So yung aloe vera po, ginagawa nila, binabalatan, pinapahid doon sa ulo. So may tumutubo naman. Naalala ko nga yung lolo ko ng araw gumagamit po ng aloe vera tapos magpapatay ng lamok. Ilalagay sa ulo tapos merong langis na nyug. Tinutubuan naman pero siyempre kapag ka talagang katandaan na at talagang dapat nang malagas ang buhok, nalalagas naman, no? Sinasabi natin, for example, yung mga bata pa, meron nga, di ba, kinukuha naman sa hayop. Sabi nyo sa kabayo, yung pampalago ng buhok, di ba? Marami po, marami. Kaya po dapat, yung nga sinasabi natin ng ating mga nasa gobyerno, na alagaan natin ang ating kalikasan, no? Lalo pa yung mga puno natin, katulad ng mga dahon-dahon na halaman dyan, dahon ng mayana. Yan po, igamot naman sa bukol. Diba? So marami po. Maraming bayabas. Ang dahon ng bayabas po is pwede mong gamitin, ilalaga mo, panlalanggas mo sa sugat. Naalala ko nung araw, yung mga lalaki nung araw, kapag ka yung binatilyo, yung bang sinircumcise na, tinuli po, yung pong ginagamit nila na yung iba nga, pinangunguyan ng dahon ng bayabas para hindi maramdaman kasi maraming klase ng tuli May dipukpok, meron tahe. Yung tahe, ano na ho yun, high-tech na sa doktor na Meron tinatawag na hiwa, no? At pukpok, may hiwa. Yun po mga ano. At after po noon, ang ginagamit pong panlanggas, yun pong dahon ng bayabas. Maglalaga, tapos yun ang ipapatak doon sa tinuli sa lalaki. Kahit naman alam ko sa babae, pagka yung halimbawang bagong panganak, siyempre, di ba, may mga hinihiwaan din ng konti yung sa babae. Yun ang ginagamit umisa na pagka magsishare, maghuhugas, yun po ginagamit dahon ng bayabas. Sa marami. So, yun po ang inaano natin na kaya dapat, kung meron pa ho kayong mga bakuran dyan na may mga halaman, lalo na kung mga halamang gamot, medyo pagyamanin po natin, alagaan, dahil po, marami ho kayong makukuha benepisyo, no? Huwag niyong papatayin. Sa totoo lang nag-upgrade na kasi tayo ang bansa natin. Yung pong dating mga may bakuran, wala, pinapatay na po yung halaman, puro sementado na. Dapat, yung may malalaking bakuran, magtira po kayo ng lupa, no, na pwede yung pagtamnan ng mga halaman, halamang gamot, pwede rin ng gulay, pwede po. At least, wala na kayong hindi nyo kailangan lumabas. Kung malaki bakura yun, pwede kayo magtanim ng araw. Naalala ko, ang lolo ko, nung ang bahay po namin, meron pong lupa po, nagtatanim ho siya ng patola, upo. Doon po sa bakura namin noon. Dahil nga lupa ang bakuran, so yun nagtatanim ng upo, patola, no? Meron din ho kami noong puno ng kalamansi, tsaka yung kaimito, no? At malaking bagay yun. Tapos mga halaman naman, yung mga mayana, may malunggay din. So malaki yun. Kaya yung may mga bakuran ho dyan, ay yun ho, ang gawin nyo, pagyamanin nyo, at pinakamaganda, ang tanim ho natin, yung mga kapaki-pakinabang. Hindi ba natin sinasabi kung kayo magtanim ng mga, alam mo, gusto yung paborito yung mga halamang bulaklak, okay lang ho yun. Pero dapat much more, doon kayo sa mga halamang gamot at halamang gulay, katulad ng kalamansi. Ang okra ho, pag tinanim mo, hindi naman lumalaki ng masyadong malaki yun eh. Mga sili, yan pwede ho. Okay, nako mga kaibigan, alas 9:01 na ng gabi, Philippine Standard Time. Abay kami magpaparam na po ni Joshua at ginabi na ho kami. Sa bagay, gabi na ho kami nagsimula. Kaya medyo talagang gagabihin, no? Pero bago tayo magpaalam, muli maraming salamat po muna sa ating mga viewers, no, na tumutok po dito sa programa sa Millennial Online TV. At tulad nun sila Kuyang Rogelio Dagdag Esteban, dyan po sa Barangay Bibiklat sa Kuya po, Nueva Ecija. At ganyan din si Kagawad Sanidad at Pineda. At siyempre si Ma'am Jacqueline Lagpao Adahar, yung ating katropang LMT, at si Kuyang Romel Martinez, Haji Crespo, Jebren Sibug, Linda Villagonza, at Jojo Revilla. Yon. At siyempre si Ma'am Bing Edison Macada Torres, at siyempre yung anak niya raw, pakibati raw, si Maria Nieves, no? Na alam ko, nasa Davao ba yun, Ma'am Bing? Maraming salamat din si Ma'am Bing, at yun, at si Ma'am Berlin Pinto. At gayon din si Ma'am Evelyn Lee Matsuo na nasa Japan, at si ating kaagila na si Magas Gakusana, no, na nasa Iligan City. At gayon din si Kuyang Ricky Del Rosario po ng Malabon PNP, maraming salamat. At si Boss Bal Leonardo, nonood pala. Maraming salamat, Boss Bal. At yun po yung katropa nating photojournalist po ng Quezon City Police District, Press Corps. Yon, at si Ma'am Irene Ubaldo, no, dyan din po sa Barangay Bibiklat sa Kuya po, Nueva Ecija. At siyempre si Bro Enting Diaz, no, kahit na late na siya, medyo nakahabol ng konti. Ayun, maraming salamat. At sino ba? Baka may nakalimutan tayo, wala na. Okay, so muli po mga kaibigan, sa ngalan po ni Joshua Baltao at ang ating technical side ay ako pong naging iyong kasama, kabarangay, katropa, ka-TFC, at kakosa dito po sa programang Tropa. Ako po yung lingkod, Rosel Lopez. Magandang gabi Pilipinas at mapayapang magdamag. Magandang gabi po.
Hanap mo ba ay Unwind Ventures? Tara nang mamangha sa mga tanawin. Ano man ang iyong travel goals? Dadalhin namin kayo.
Ang Superman of Lechon, napapawi sa inyong gutom at siguradong mapapa-analyze ka dahil sa tender juicy na jam mo pa at siguradong malinis at bagong katay buhat sa farm. Kaya super masalasa at pangmasa pa. Ano pa hinihintay niyo mga katropa? Takbo na sa Superman of Panteño Siniluan at bumili na. Baka maabusan ka, katropa.
Now,
Talakayin, revisahin, opinyon, halawakin, aksyonan. Kasama si Rosel Lopez, ang inyong katropa, dito lang sa Millennial Online TV. Ang katropa mo sa pagbabalita. Pinaigting, pinalakas ang bagong news online TV ng bagong milenyo. Millennial Online TV, ang katropa mo sa pagbabalita.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang mag-ibig, relasang sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Upang binirang, kuyak ka ng mag-ibig, sa manlulupin, di ka pagsisipin, sa tinatang tutok sa simoy at sa langit ang pagaw. May tinatang tulang awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad ko'y tagumpay na nagtitindig. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may magtitindig.